everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we take an inside look into engineering technology and the future of tech. I'm Dr. Waksmanski, and I'm a professor and faculty chair here at DeVry University. I teach many of the different math, physics, computer programming courses that our students that are enrolled in the engineering technology program take. And I'm so thrilled to be here today with Dave Brunson to talk a bit more about this exciting field. I'll turn it over to Dave to introduce himself.
Hello, Dr. Waksmanski. I'm Dave Brunson. I'm the Senior Director for the American Service Delivery Team for a company called PerkinElmer. I've been with them now for over 38 years. I'm a DeVry alumni. My background, I took the engineering technology program and graduated from DeVry in 1984. So I'm delighted to be here with you as well.
It's so great to hear from a DeVry alum, as you can speak to both your experiences being a student and your work in the field of engineering technology. Now, from the moment that we wake up, we are surrounded by the services and products that are that many engineers and engineering technologists develop to help improve our everyday lives. Many of these products and services have been rapidly evolving due to the emerging technologies of 5G, healthcare, machine learning, and sustainability. Here at DeVry, we've actually refreshed 2 of our degree programs in engineering technology that align with this rapidly changing market with 4 different tracks. Now, we want to make sure that all of you here today are getting the most out of the event. So please be sure to put your questions into the chat, and we'll try to get to as many of them towards the end in our Q&A portion. So now, before we jump into this conversation, let me first paint a big picture of what engineering technology is. Whether we realize it or not, engineering technology is intertwined into so many different fields and industries with products that we interact every day, from the cars that we drive to the computers that we work on. Even the chair that you're sitting on has some engineering technology involved in it. At the core, engineering technology is the practical application of math and science, and it helps to understand the similarities and the differences between engineering and engineering technology. Both of these fields are closely related, but the key difference lies in the pedagogy. For example, an engineering degree focuses on the theory and the design, while engineering technology emphasizes the hands-on application and implementation. In the engineering design process, the engineer is responsible for research, analysis, and the design, while the engineering technologist is the one that brings the concept to life. So I think it's important to note that both engineers and engineering technologists work hand in hand and apply math and science to address real-world problems and create products and services that improve our everyday lives. Now, Dave, would you elaborate a little bit more about some of these key differences and why specifically you chose to go into engineering technology?
Yeah, I'll talk from my experience here at PerkinElmer, where we have a plethora of engineers that do a lot of design work for us as we bring from concept to actual products, designs that we implement into our customer space. And for me, when I was a graduate, when I came through DeVry, I struggled with whether I wanted to be an engineer that did all the design, or if I wanted to be on the other end of the spectrum, where I took those designs and those concepts that were creating products and actually deployed them in real world applications. And so my background, my personality, I just love interacting with people in different places around the globe to see how the technologies are being deployed. And you get to see not just fiber optic technology and telecommunications technology, artificial intelligence, you see all that come together in an application that fits the customer's needs and help them be successful in what they do. So for me, the difference was being able to take those designs and concepts and then work hand in hand with the engineers, deploying those into applications around the globe. So that was a big plus for me. That's what drove me to be more of a technologist than just a design engineer. Then the other piece of it, it gave me the opportunity to travel, to not be, confined to one location for most of my career. I've been able to see most of the world and see applications deployed all around the world.
Thanks, Dave. That sounds to me like if you're looking for more of a career that is vocational rather than theoretical, and you want to be involved in deploying the equipment or troubleshooting or repairing the technologies, then engineering technology may be a great fit for you. You also mentioned a lot of the exciting things about working in this industry, and you've been in it for over 30 years. But what part of engineering technology is most exciting to you?
The most exciting part is the rapid change, and to see, growing up as a kid, most of us remember the stories about the Jetsons, Star Trek with the flip phones or the flip communicators, and today you see a lot of those dreams or sci-fi, they've come to life, where products are able to connect to the network either through Bluetooth, wireless, or mobile devices, to phone to a central center, to phone in, say, hey, I'm sick, I need some help, and then deploy resources from the home office, whether it's a technician that's coming out, a patch that's being downloaded, or an adjustment that can be done remotely to remedy whatever the issue might be. And we see that throughout every device today, from our cell phones, the simple things like a barbecue smoker that is connected to the internet today, that you can set it up, go about your business, connect to it from your cell phone, and by the time you get back home, your meal is ready and prepared. So it's just amazing to see all of this technology come together, and it's at our fingertips today.
Yes, really, it seems like the future is now. We are living in it. And that really resonates with me. I do agree that technology is rapidly changing, and that is one of the most exciting parts, especially in the world of the Internet of Things that we are living in, where everyday items have become smart. So for me in particular, it's exciting to see the different technologies and how they are interconnected. It's not just one field that we need to be focusing on. It's an interconnection. It's a wholesome experience with all these different technologies working together. So for instance, we have hardware devices that are connected to a network. That network needs to be secured. The hardware devices are generating data. The data needs to be analyzed to understand the trends. And especially now that we are living we have 5G speeds, the data at which the hardware devices can collect data and they can be analyzed are now increasing ever so much more. So again, it's just amazing to see the interconnectivity between electronics, programming, networking, cybersecurity, and data analytics. Now, we see that engineering technology is very broad and you can specialize in many different fields. And the programs at DeVry, the associates and bachelor degree programs, we cover many of these different fields. But based on the experience that you have, Dave, which of these specialized fields do you interact with on a daily basis?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, I like to say is DeVry gave me a lot of basic building blocks that I was able to take and come into industry and build on to build a great career and to have a lot of fun. And when I think about these different technologies and how they work in industries, there's now becoming like a ballooning or a blend, because devices, whether you're in healthcare, telecommunications, just your cell phone, They're all using technologies from artificial intelligence to machine learning. They're in 5G so that those devices are smart enough to connect to networks, to phone home, like ET phone home. And so for me, looking at these different industries, there's a blending that's taking place because technology is moving so rapidly and there's so much between them. When you think about artificial intelligence, many veterans in the field are starting to retire. And so that tribal knowledge is being harnessed into knowledge bases that artificial intelligence can layer in and help the newer employees come up to speed a little bit more rapidly. You think about machine learning, where with the right logic built in to these smart devices, they can begin to do self-adjustment instead of someone coming out adjusting a potentiometer in the old days. It's the machine that's doing its own adjustments electronically to help. And you're seeing that built into devices that span across multiple industries. Our healthcare is so advanced, how rapid we're able to create vaccines and new drugs require a lot of this to be available. And then certainly the communications piece of it is harnessing that data quickly and sending it to the right places so it can be analyzed. 5G is there, it's there to stay. So all of these kind of work together and we see them all rapidly coming through products as we move forward.
These are some really innovative industries, and I'm honored and excited that along with my esteemed DeVry colleagues, we can continue to lay that foundational knowledge to prepare students to enter these fields. Much of the courses that we offer at DeVry take more of an applied approach to math and science, and these courses build upon each other. So then the students with that engineering technology degree are prepared for a variety of application-oriented careers that include, but may not be just limited to these that I'm about to mention, but it could be in manufacturing, field service, marketing, sales, product development, or quality control. So this engineering technology degree can take you down multiple different paths, but students that entering the field are likely to need some core skills. Dave, you oversee 1,100 technicians, and I'm sure each one of them bring a different, unique set of skills. But based on your experience, what would you consider to be the essential skills for a career in engineering technology?
Yeah, so when I think about skills, you will come from DeVry or whatever university with some building blocks that you need to begin to harness and then to build on. And some of the most important ones are you'll be a part of a team. I have a very large team, over 1,100 employees deployed throughout the Americas. And our ability to communicate with each other, to work as a team, those interpersonal skills are crucial. Certainly, you're connected through either wireless systems where your written communication as well as your verbal communication as you're talking to customers or talking to colleagues and peers to address whatever issues may be in front of you. So communication skills are important. Being in the field, most of the time you have a lot of autonomy over your schedules, and it's incumbent upon you to be able to manage your time very well. And so you've got to be an expert at time management, and that's really, really important. And then just overall innovative, entrepreneurial creativity to solve problems, to identify potential solutions are all very important. And your ability to problem solve, using the logic skills that you may come from with DeVry, as well as just a solid problem solving, logical thinker is really important. And so as you look at all of these and you're thinking about the industries and spaces that you're coming to and being involved in, you're most likely not going to be on a local level. You're going to be part of a team that's global. And so understanding how to work in a global matrixed environment with people from very different backgrounds, very different ethnicities, and scattered throughout the world. A lot of these skills you're going to need. And I do believe that they're transferable as you move around these different organizations. As your career grows and expands, you'll take these skills and hone them as you grow in your career. So they're all very, very important.
Yeah, it's to me, it does sound like it's not just about the technical hard skills, but also the soft skills that will help you be successful in this field. We're going to be heading into the question and answer portion of today's event. So please make sure you're putting in some of those questions into the chat. I know based on some of my experiences of interacting with students, one of the most common questions that I get is about how can I get involved in this field? And I think one good way would be through professional organizations. So Dave, do you want to speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, I think it's important to be a person that knows how to network with people in industries that you're interested in. And there are a plethora of those, from field service management to field service society to IEEE societies. And you can find these on LinkedIn. There are many, many different associations that of interest that you may be interested in. And I would say be creative in your thinking, because technology invades every field, every industry in the world, from restaurants to medical, to laboratories, to agricultural. I mean, we have huge machines that are used in civil design that are smart enough to have technology that needs engineering technologists to work on. So be very creative and innovative in your thinking, and the things that you're most interested in. Find those societies and be a part of it, and you'll find some great connections there.
Yeah, and a lot of these organizations you can join as a student member as well. They offer some discounted rates, and like you can join the different events that they hold. A lot of these organizations also share different communication pieces, whether it's like the magazines that help you stay focused on and learn more about what's, the cutting edge technology nowadays. Again, feel free to put any questions in the chat that you may have for me or for Dave. We're here to answer them for you. But if any of you are interested in enrolling or learning more about our engineering technology programs, please make sure that you reach out to one of our representatives. Follow us on LinkedIn to learn more about some of the events we'll be hosting. Go to our website at DeVry.edu for that as well. I do see Kelly asked a question. Thank you for your question, Kelly. The question is, are there a lot of remote jobs in this industry? That's a great question.
That is a great question. The answer is yes. I will tell you that while I do visit customer sites, and that's the primary part of what I do every single day, when I think about the remote industry when it came to the pandemic, since about 1986, I've always been remote. So that's the beauty of an engineering technologist that work on products that engineers develop and deploy into the field, is that by nature, you're remote. So rarely have I ever had to report to an office every single day. I generally report to a specific, a site or a customer where I'm responsible for. And then with that experience, we have engineers that are so very skilled that some of their time is remote, supporting other customers or other engineers that will call in for assistance, and that's completely remote. So yeah, there's a ton of remote opportunities in the engineering technology field.
Yeah, and even though we talked a little bit in the beginning about engineering technologies like that hands-on application and implementation, Now, because of machine learning and 5G and cloud computing, a lot of that hands-on is now remote. So that's a really good question to bring up. I see another question from Gerald saying, I'm majoring in computer science and I want to know, how does the college help students find jobs in their majors after graduating? So again, that's a really great question. At DeVry, we offer career services where you can get help with, building your resume. There's also opportunities there that you can look for internships, job opportunities as well. So DeVry does offer some of those career services for you. And yeah, keep those questions coming. Another question that I often hear as well is that engineering technology sounds like it's like a fast-moving industry, as we've mentioned, right, with a rapidly changing and evolving market. For someone that's interested in jumping into this career, how important is time management? I know, Dave, you talked a little bit about that time management portion, but do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, time management is crucial. Your ability to predict how long it's going to take you to resolve an issue so that you can visit the next client is very important. That when you make a commitment to clients or colleagues, that you're able to keep those commitments, and that requires you to be efficient at time management. I have a number of strategies that I use and implement. My schedule drives my day. It tells me where I'm going to be and how long I'm going to be there, because I've got over 1,100 people depending on me. And so time management is very crucial. Being able to report back to my senior leaders in the organization on time, or most likely ahead of time, which is wisdom, is very, very important. So time management is crucial, especially if you're going to be remote. There's a lot of trust that's there where you don't have to report into an office every day and punch in a time clock, but your ability to do and to execute the business requires you to be very, very good at managing your time.
I think that's a great skill to start building, especially when you're a student. I see a lot of our students, they're non-traditional students. They are balancing not just school, but in addition to school, work and everything that life throws at them with their families or with what's going on in the world around us right now. So starting to focus on those time management skills while you're in the safe space of a school I think helps you prepare for the career here in for engineering technology. Another question that I see from Natasha is, what is the best way to go about starting a search for an internship? In addition to the career services, there's opportunities you can search for online through LinkedIn, Indeed. Dave, do you have any other suggestions for that?
Yeah, I'd say find things you like, devices you use, things that involve your daily activity, and connect with those companies and ask them if they have any internships. We do here at PerkinElmer. It's highly competitive. There's an application process that you go through, and you will compete for those internships. And many companies provide those, but it's important for you to find out, what is it you like doing? What are you currently engaged in? And then reach out to those organizations, usually their HR departments, to ask if they have an internship program. And if they do, what is the process of applying for those internships? And be prepared to compete, because it's highly competitive. We attract the best and the brightest. We want them to be a part of our organization, and certainly internships help us evaluate those individuals so that when they do graduate, potentially they can be teammates for us going down the road. So
yeah, great advice there. I see another question from Anthony asking that right now they're currently enrolled in DeVry in the cybersecurity program. And because the programs have now been revamped, Is there going to be any difficulty in transferring into this new revamped program? And the answer is, we have like the 4 different tracks. We have one related to machine learning, sustainability, and automation. And then we also have a general option. So for those that are in like networking or cybersecurity, where it doesn't fall into those different tracks that we have, there's that general option where you still can end up with a degree in engineering technology. But again, it's a different track there. So reach out to your student advisor to learn a little bit more about the options for you there. But really good question there. Glad you brought that up. So Cindy is asking, if I have no experience when I graduate, what is the best way to gain it?
It's a great question. Let me answer it this way. Part of the issue in engineering technology fields is that there is a shortage of engineer technologists. For whatever reason, many students think it's the hardest track to study, and it is. It's very difficult, but you have to work through that piece of it. On the other side of that, from my perspective, we have a lot of very senior veterans in field service that are starting to retire. So the opportunities are certainly opening up, and we are looking for candidates to be a part of that. And most companies with this has the same problem. I call it the silver tsunami. It's this huge wave of seasoned veterans that are about to retire. And here at PerkinElmer, we've started and implemented what we call a new generation program, where we are strategic in looking for new, very little experienced individuals that we want to train and help them build a career with our organization. I will tell you, you will graduate from DeVry or another technical school with these basic building blocks, and within a month, I'm going to probably teach you more than you've learned in 4 years. Because it's going to be very specific to our organization and the technologies that we deploy in our devices. And so we're looking for all the time in this generation, new employees willing to come on and learn, work hard, and grow with the organization. So,
and I think it's good that you brought up that you do learn the foundation, right, to be successful in this field, to enter the field. But once you are in the field, you'll be learning more specific based on the organization and the skills they need in particular, and focus in on that. So I'm glad you brought that up. We have a question from Daniel that's asking, so what are the types of positions I would be applying for if I had this degree?
Wow, that's a great question. And it's a varied number of positions. In field service, you'll be looking for what would be some industries call a customer service engineer, someone that has very little experience. So you'll look at the experience required to see where that is. And this is a position where the organization knows you're fresh out of a technology school, and there's a lot they have to pour into you to build on the foundations that you've acquired from a school like DeVry. And so you will look for field service, and it could be in various fields. It could be air conditioning, it could be computer programming, it could be scientific instrumentation, it could be laboratory devices, it could be medical devices, but look for those kinds of positions in those kinds of industries, and look for what's required in terms of experience. And if you're fresh out of a technology school, look for those that require minimum to no experience. They're willing to train you and get you ready for your career.
Yeah, in addition to just field service type of roles, you can look for more business type of roles, like with marketing or technical sales. So there's different routes that you can take with the engineering technology degree that you earn. And these are some great questions you've all been asking. Thank you for joining our discussion today and participating in the conversation that we've been having. And I would like to thank Dave one more time for sharing your work experiences and your perspective on this in particular, so that our audience can understand a little bit more on the engineering technology and how it is applied in the real world. So just want to make sure that all our questions have been answered before we wrap up. We're pretty much at time. My gosh, time flies when you're having fun, right? When we're having, especially when we're taking a deeper look into engineering technology. But we do have one more question. It's for you, Dave. Did you know what happened, what aspect of IT you wanted to pursue upon graduating from DeVry? Did you intern, and how was your experience?
No, I did not do an intern. I did have an idea as to what I wanted to enter into. I wanted to be in a field that, number one, affected everyday life, because I thought that would bring some security. And so the organization I work for, we make devices. If you taste it, smell it, sit on it, drive in it, ride in it, put it on, we create devices that do analytics and testing for those. And so that affects every part of our living, including environmental health, if you drink it, or human health, if it's put into you to remedy issues that you have, or it's used in a medical procedure. So I wanted a field that was very different than the norm of just working on just basic computers. I wanted something that really expanded and grew my scientific knowledge over the years. And so that's the field I chose with the organization that I'm in. And so when I think about that, at the time, I did not have an internship. We do provide some internships today. So our organization has grown, and we understand the need to attract some of the brightest stars coming out of technology training. So,
well, thank you, Lakima, for that question. Thank you, Dave, again for being part of this event and the wonderful conversation that we had. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, one more time, if any of you are interested in learning more about DeVry's engineering technology programs, please reach out to one of our representatives and go on our website at devry.edu. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn to get more updates on some upcoming live events that we have going on. Thank you again, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your day.